Co-host, this is a future where time is currency. No more dollars.
Is it? Okay, yeah.
No more coins. You everything is sold through time. And I wish that was true for real life because this movie owes me some time.
I was about to say
Need my goddamn time back.
This movie should have been called Waste of Motherfucking Time. And the thing is, you're right. Time does fucking cost you something because it cost me some fucking money having to go see this last night.
I like the way
at
you
a
say
midnight movie madness bullshit hour.
I know. At midnight too.
Yeah.
Damn, boy, y'all owe me some time. Major back. I like the way you say that it should be named not just waste of time, but waste of motherfucking time. Just to get your point across.
It really does. It deserves that title.
Yeah, man, this is a future where at the age of 25, they've developed it to the point where your genes stop you from aging. Mm-hmm. And so,
somehow that's never explained.
It's never really explained. I guess they say, well, that's not important. But on top of that, it seems like everything is cured. It seems like your acne's gone. Mm-hmm. You grow stubble just in the right way.
You don't have any pimples on your ass anymore?
No. I don't think there's obesity except for that one fat guy in the movie who just couldn't stop eating, And then, you're thinking to yourself, all right, well, at this point, what's wrong here? It's like I stayed young and I stayed pretty. What's the drawback? Well, the drawback here is that in a year, you're dead. If you can't live forever. It's like, hey, it's good enough that you staying young and pretty. We can't have you just sticking around. Otherwise, the world will be overpopulated. So you get a year after your 25th birthday to live. Now, you can stay alive longer, but you have to earn that time. You have to go out and get a job. You have to pay taxes. You have to, I don't know, whatever you have to do to get that money. That's how long you stay alive.
Or you got to, borrow some off your friend. Which is, that's the problem with this whole premise because I'm like, okay, so you get you get a year after 25?
Yeah.
For what reasons? I mean, why don't they just give you 26 years of life? If they're going to give you an extra year anyway.
That makes sense. It's like, if they need you to die, why don't they just give you the amount of time it would take for you to get old in the first place?
Yeah.
Let's just say, around 65 or 70, at that point, maybe you want to die. I don't know,
I think around at least for the guys, maybe about 40. For the girls, about 30. Usually that's when you hit the wall, right? When you're a girl.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So
get 5 more years after that, and get out of there.
Yeah. So you save some money on Botox and all that other bullshit you're gonna eventually do to yourself. Yeah, it would make more sense if somebody came in with that kind of logic when they were developing the script. Which is pretty ridiculous. I mean, you got to jump through a lot of hurdles to buy this premise to begin with.
Yeah. I like the idea, but the execution has just a lot of questions involved around it. And so the story here involves Justin Timberlake. Now, Justin Timberlake, he brought sexy back, so why he would fit perfectly here, right?
Yeah, he would, but
he brought it back too hard though because everybody's sexy in this world.
Yeah, everyone is sexy, which is annoying. But.
So it don't matter. There was a time when sexy would get you somewhere, but in this world, he's just a working stiff, just like everybody else. And on top of that, he lives in the ghetto. Now, his character's name is Will Salas, and Will, he is a guy. He's a poor man working hard to earn his time. I mean, he goes to a factory job every day, tries to come home and take care of his mother. And this world that they live in now, like we said, you gotta push people along. You gotta have people die at some point. So they try to hurry that up. What they do is, if you are not part of the rich and wealthy elite who can just pretty much afford to probably live for eternity, or for eons. You'll be immortal. If you're not one of those lucky people, then you have to go out and pay, like I say, you have to pay taxes. And if you want to borrow to get more time, you want to get a loan, then they have interest rates on that. And they raise those things high on the poor.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when the cost of living is also raised. So your sexy ass. You don't have a lot of time to hang around and be sexy.
No, you got. That's the thing, Eric. Yeah. If you're poor, you got to rush. Everything has to be fast because you ain't got that long to live. Now, Will sees all this going on, and when the time comes early on the movie when he can't save his mother because her clock runs out, then he decides to take it upon, and by the way, his mother's played by Olivia Wilde. He decides to take it upon himself to start this crusade to break the system. You know, this whole thing of people having to earn their time and poor people not getting that chance to earn it before they die at an early stage. He's not with it. He's like, I'm going to change everything. So he just soon becomes this Robin Hood.
Robin Hood of time.
Of time.
which, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, there's something, I guess, that, you know, I can wrap my brain around. But from the get-go, this premise gets a little shaky, and it gets a little unsettling. Because as soon as we start with the movie, we see Justin Timberlake hanging out with Olivia Wilde, who, if you can't remember, she's the hot fucking chick in Tron.
Yes.
And there are scenes with these two that are borderline almost incestuous, because, I mean, wow, she is fucking hot to begin with, but every time they have a reaction shot with Justin Timberlake, he looks like he's ready just to fuck his mom. I mean, he looks like, and you know what? I can't say I blame him. I'd be the ultimate motherfucker if I had a mom looking like fucking Tron chick. You know?
Because the movie opens up with him walking out of the bedroom, walking into the kitchen, and you see Olivia Wilde, hi, honey, and then Justin Timberlake grabs her by the waist, starts looking into her eyes. They pull back the shot. She's not wearing like a nightgown and some old, you know, bunny slippers or something. Yeah. No, she's wearing like a nightie. That thing is like just barely below her ass cheeks.
Yeah. And then he goes, hi, Mom.
Yeah, hi, Mom. Like, what the hell? And even that look on his face, it's not like, hey, Mom. It's like, hey, Mom. It's like, you know, Justin Timberlake had a heart on that scene. It's like, no matter how many takes they did, he could not be convincing as her son.
Every guy in the fucking theater had a heart on watching that scene.
Yeah.
And when you realize it's his mother, you're like, oh, shit. This is the type of shit I shouldn't be watching on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No. That's a big flaw in the movie. But, you know, another thing that's weird about the film is that they want you to buy certain relationships. And the way they cast this movie, it just doesn't happen. It turns out that in this film, in order for Justin Timberlake's character to achieve his goals, he has to mingle with the rich folks. And he has to, he hooks up with this guy who has a monopoly on this town and time. He would be the equivalent of a mogul, a rich guy, except he has like years and years and years of time to live.
He's Donald Trump, but
he's the Donald Trump
but young and kind of decent looking.
Yeah. His hair don't look as crazy. No, it's a guy named Philip Weiss, played by Vincent Cathisa. And I think that's how you say his name, Cathisa. Yeah, and this guy, he has mansions, he has a beautiful wife, a beautiful daughter, played by Amanda Seyfried. And when Justin Timberlake starts mingling with these people, they kind of take him in as their own. Hey, you're part of the elite, you're part of us. But before he had all this time, that time was taken from a guy who is just wandering around the city, flashing around his time to everybody. And all these gangsters in the ghetto see this stranger. And of course, they're going to rob this guy and kill him. And Justin Timberlake sees this, saves the guy, and then asks the guy, like, what's wrong with you? And the guy's like, look, man, I got thousands of years of time. I've lived so long, like, I don't care how young and pretty I am. My mind can't fucking take it no more. I can't. There's a point where you want to die.
I've just run out of shit to do. I've seen every goddamn movie, read every goddamn comic book. I am bored.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm ready to check out.
Yeah, unless you could just launch my ass off into space or something. I've done it all on this planet right here. Unless you can, like, introduce me to God. Which I'm about to do myself.
I've seen every goddamn naked picture on the internet. God damn.
Yeah, at that point, you've eaten every food. You've gone to you've ridden every roller coaster. You've jacked off to every picture out there. There's nothing else to do. This guy's, I've done it all, man. I've got to go. And before he leaves, though, when Justin Timberlake is asleep, he gives him, he transfers his time to him and says, do not waste my time. Of course, the time police in this future, led by Cillian Murphy, they say, you know what? You mean to tell me that a guy who can live forever just all of a sudden decides he wants to die and he gives you his time? No, you son of a bitch. You stole that from me. You killed the guy, you stole it. So he's on the run. He's mingling with these rich people. They find him with these rich folks. And, hey, lo and behold, I'm hanging out with a rich daughter. You know what? I'm going to kidnap her ass. I'm going to get her hostage. And now they have to let me live. So while they're running on the loose, Amanda Seyfried and Justin Timberlake, while they're at large, they try to build them up as sort of a Bonnie and Clyde of time. They're supposed to be on the run, but they're supposed to have like this romantic budding relationship. And did you buy that at all?
Fuck no. No. I mean, yeah, they do turn it into a Bonnie and Clyde situation with Jean-Claude Van Damme chasing them.
Time cop.
Time cop. Everything was so force-fed to you. Like, I never understood, like, okay, why is he helping this guy who's just hanging out in a bar where you don't even know anything about him? He just looks at this guy hanging out in a bar like he also wants to fuck him, and he obviously knows some guys are gonna go and fucking jack him up for his time, and he just decides out of the blue pretty much to help the guy.
There's a lot of motivation in this. Yeah, there's a lot of motivation in this movie that's just not understood.
Not at all.
I mean,
especially when he hooks up with Amanda Seyfried, where it just kind of happens. Because I was like wondering, did I fucking pass out and miss something here? Because I don't understand why they're hanging out with each other, really.
Well, I mean, he kidnapped her, but what if this romantic interest where she's acting so cold to him, an hour earlier, and now she's, well, I don't know. I guess, like I said, when people run out of time, they got to act fast.
Yeah, I know. And she
no time for romantic development here.
She definitely did, because I swear to God, it felt like I was missing a reel or something. Did something happen between these two to make Amanda Seyfried, like, all of a sudden interested in him, besides me just knowing that it's the fucking guy from that boy band, and that she fucking just fell in love with the old crush of hers or something?
Well, I guess we could use the excuse she had, when she gets kidnapped, somehow through circumstances, she only has an hour left before she dies, and I guess you could say, shit, I better get my fuck on before my hour is up. But nevertheless, they didn't